Thank you very much, Claude, and welcome to everybody, and thanks for taking the time to hear from me today. So maybe just to reiterate a little bit more on who we are in Datalex, if there's maybe two things I'd like you to take away about who Datalex are. One is we have resilience built within the DNA of Datalex. So we've been around for 35 years. We have been through many crises. And we have continued to innovate our way out of those crises for our airline customers. The second thing I'd like everyone to take away is Datalex eats, sleeps, and drinks airline retail. So everything we do in Datalex is around the world of airline retail. And today, what I'm going to talk a little bit about is, in response to the world of COVID, how can you make a fast path towards dynamic offer? And obviously within the market at the moment, there's been quite a lot of change that has happened. So we're seeing some fundamental changes in consumer behavior and demand patterns. We're seeing government interventions like the crazy green list that the Irish government has introduced to certain countries you can fly to. We're seeing historical data and forecast models becoming almost irrelevant. We're seeing the whole host of unpredictable market conditions, from travel restrictions, social distancing regulations, compulsory temperature checks on check-in, et cetera, et cetera. And all of that's leading to continuously changing pricing models and strategy and some unpredictable customer behavior. So as a consequence of that, we've seen our customers and the market react in a certain way. And the first reaction that we've seen within the market is to protect your customers. And this is moving into a very survival mode. So looking after areas like refund management, reaccommodation through rebooking, voucher creation, ticket booklet creation, policy changes, mass use of IROP bulletins and promotional discounts being offered in order to bring on the road warrior travelers or the young millennials to get them back traveling. So for us, that is current state. What we see next is how to move from survival mode and protecting your customers into thriving as an airline again within the COVID world. And we see this by growing your high value revenue. And this can be done in multiple ways. For us, we see the world of dynamic offer, the world of contextual merchandising, a full omni-channel offer and order management for your direct distribution, and a full offer and order management for the NDC channel as well. Within Datalex, here's some of our here's our 4 products, but specifically today, I'm going to talk around the world of our dynamic offer and our Datalex merchandiser product in order to bring high value revenue to the airline. There is no way I'm going to be able to take you through all the detail, but I do want to give you 4 very key considerations that I think you as an airline should take into consideration when considering a dynamic offer or a merchandiser product. The first is around capability, so the type of capability. So within Datalex, we obviously have the sophistication of dynamic bundling and some very complex dynamic pricing and personalization and segmentation capability. But all of that is built on the foundation of how you source your products. And one of the most important considerations that you need to take into account is how your products are sourced, that they're not tied to one individual underlying PSS source or one individual contracted data source. So within Datalex, we've moved from the ability to go to multiple pricing sources and in certain markets being able to switch between those pricing sources, as an example, to being able to respond with a single offer that can bring back your traditional PSS pricing source or the Datalex pricing capability source or a new dynamic pricing source. So all 3 pricing sources are brought back in one shot within the offer, and only at that point do you run your sorting, filtering, deduplication rules in order to determine what offer gets brought back to the user. Why this is so important is with the world of dynamic pricing and what's coming, you need to be able to run as much multivariate testing in your production environment as possible. And unless you have a sourcing system that can get to multiple sources in one shot, you're never going to be able to do that capability. The second capability to maybe touch on is around price determination. So moving into the world of dynamic pricing. And obviously at the moment within the world of dynamic pricing, we've lots of vendors who are coming up with very sophisticated dynamic pricing products for specific ancillaries or specific airfare revenue management models. What you need to do is have a maturity model that allows you to move your way along that path. So again, the product sourcing becomes a really important point in being able to go to multiple sources, but also having the ability to transition from traditional pricing to dynamic discounting to dynamic pricing. And unless that vendor has that capability to move you along that journey, you're going to struggle to implement the full dynamic pricing. The final capability that I just want to talk on, I call what's not multi-channel, so omni-channel. So the word omni-channel is thrown around within the market quite a lot. So what a lot of vendors mean when they talk omni-channel is they mean they have the ability to source offers and order those offers on multiple devices. What they don't mean is the ability to switch from one device to another. So everyone who has young children, kids, teenagers, will see that through the COVID situation, they are searching on their tablet, then they're moving to their mobile, then they're sharing with their friends what they want to purchase through their different retail environments. And within Datalex, we have a true omni-channel architecture that allows you to transition from one device to the other in one seamless shopping experience. So you can create a wish list on one device of the certain product, flight, etc. that you want to source, and then you can move to another device and pick that same shopping cart back up and continue your shopping experience. Outside of capability, I think the one area that I want to talk is a little bit around technology. So again, I think one of the things when you're considering a major retailing transformation is your technology that's using. So you need a vendor who has got proven scalability, leading performance, and is architectural agnostic. And by proven technology, I mean someone who has scale within large volumes within the industry. And predominantly that's someone who has large volume direct distribution traffic going through their system. With that comes performance, and between the two of those, you get scale of your retailing solutions. Architectural agnostic is, again, you cannot tie yourself to a single PSS or a single vendor in order to source the underlying data and content that will bring back your systems. You need a solution that will be able to source from multiple providers and be completely independent of the underlying data source that exists. Otherwise, you will always be compromised in your dynamic offer solution. Third is speed to market. So a lot of what I hear in the market at the moment is around proof of concepts. Let's do a proof of concept. If you hear the word proof of concept, hit that big red button and let an alarm bell go off in your head. There is no way that you can consider a proof of concept and a production ready piece of software in the same light. What I implore to you is, rather than focus on doing proof of concepts, focus on short time to market production capability that you can get high value and high return on to prove the capability. Proof of concepts will bring in test data and will not mimic the real production scenario. And then obviously to bring speed to market together, you will deliver much lower total cost of ownership, and you will maximize return of investment. But you need an architecture that's modular in its design and that you can bring small incremental pieces of capability to production quickly. And then the final consideration that I would like you to think about when looking at a dynamic offer or merchandiser solution is maintainability. So how will the airline business user manage and maintain the system? How can you ensure that business decisions are controlled by the marketing and business teams within the airlines and do not have to come through technical people? How is that secure, simple, and flexible? And within Datalex, we have what we call our Datalex Digital Configurator, which is a tool that is designed specifically for the business users of airlines. So if you want to change the price of an ancillary, if you want to change your Fair Family benefits, if you want to change your IROP bulletins, you should not have to have a new release of software. You should not have to involve any technical owner at all. These are decisions that should be made by business users, and there should be a tool that allows business users to make those changes without interacting with a technical resource. So for me, that's a short introduction to some key considerations that I think you need to bring into play around the world of how you would bring a dynamic offer product or a merchandising product to the market quickly with a low total cost of ownership that brings high value revenue back to you. I would obviously like to discuss this with you all much more in detail, and you can see some of my details here. And I would implore you to reach out and contact me